Hello, and welcome to the exciting conclusion of the most highly anticipated and widely followed international competition of all time. I expect that centuries from now, historians will be debating what exactly set off World War III, and a good number will probably be able to point to this very match. I'm playing E.Honda from Germany. And this is actually the first match to be played of this team competition finals. So I'm going to try and start us off with a win for the good old US of A. Looking at this board, there are no villages, so the draw is not necessarily worth pursuing. Duchy Duke is a real consideration, though there is some concern, I suppose, about, well, you know, I was going to say there's some concern about the giant attack, but realistically, that's not a big deal. I mean, it could be devastating, but I don't know that you can play around it too much. At any rate, I expect here to play moneyish with butchers, and in theory, or potentially you could play with some giants as well, but I just want to make a quick rundown of the board to make sure I'm not missing anything especially obvious, although I could. If you were going to play something a little more enginey, I suppose you would have to use a lot of patricians, and I don't think that's gonna quite cut it here. So you could do a mill opening, is also fine. So he mirrors me, and I'm gonna get a butcher here. So far nice shuffles. Silver misses, but it's not a huge deal, and in fact probably beneficial given his militia draw there. I'll have to remember to play all treasures here so that we can get basilica points when possible. I think it's safe to get some mills. They're pretty good for hitting 5, and I think I am going to do Duchy Duke here. There may be a potential big masterpiece at some point. Where exactly to fit that in is not entirely clear to me. I'm going to get a second butcher now. I'm going to probably favor converting estates just to patricians, under the theory that I do want to do like a big masterpiece or a of course I could start with the masterpiece right now. So here I think I'll do a massive masterpiece. I'll get some basilica points and be in a really good position to just start greening, I think. I don't think with the deck sizes what they're going to be, I don't think you can worry about the giant attack. Here I get to overpay 4, I suppose. Maybe, yeah, I should have 7 here. Oh, no. I have 9, I get to overpay 6. From here on out, after this shuffle, it'll be all duchies all the time. He's getting more patricians. I don't necessarily feel a huge compulsion to do that. I will go ahead and start on the duchies actually. He is pursuing the patrician thing, which I don't especially believe in. I can't quite double duchy here, but I will move this estate into a mill. It could have been a silver. He's probably got militia in hand now. No, he must have had some collision. So I anticipate at least getting some basilica points off the duchies here. Well, certainly I am in this turn, so we'll see how it goes. So far I've had no terminal collision, no real issues. Are very nice terminal draws in general. So I'm quite happy with that. I guess I get to save a token by doing it this way. I think he must have had some terminal collision just based on the number of terminals he's played. Yeah, and there's some. So he probably will get the last two there. So I can double duke here, and I will. So we split the dukes in the end, or the duchies, pardon, in the end. He did lose his militia. This will be a... I'll take a basilica duke here. I should have, with that masterpiece, I should just be in a lot better spot to green. His patricians aren't going to do hardly anything for him. So there should be at least some chance of me getting a good duke split here. Future terminal collisions for me should be fine, since it means you can butcher something into something else. He just buys a copper so that I suppose I don't get the last this basilica points, which is reasonable. Here I will maybe get the last two dukes. Yeah. As far as how to end it, that's not as clear. What's the quickest way to do that? That still scores some points. I could do mills. He has to somehow get provinces. Right? So the question is something like, Can I get 7 mills before he gets a couple provinces? Which will probably take me about 6 turns. Otherwise, I can, of course, build towards... Probably won't take me 6 turns, but maybe 5. I can also take harems or golds myself. So right now I'm ahead by 17 points. He realistically will need like 3 provinces. So I think we're okay to do it this, go for the mills. There's his first province. There his patricians are firing now. I'm pretty okay with that turn. This will be 2 more mills for me. So I'm not seeing it for him. I'm just gonna have too many points. I don't think he can catch me. I'm gonna score 2 more points here. So if I do this, and I'll still have a token left. This is just higher points with a slightly larger chance of whiffing. He did draw his butchers well at the end here. I don't know if that's enough for him, but to score 10 points, but okay, so we made it. I liked my masterpiece. I definitely had better draws than him. He must have had more collision for sure. So, fast first game. I believe I went first. Guess we can check the color, yeah. So. I'm gonna put up 1 flag. Here we've got the Fool, but lots of draw. And certainly lots of things worth building up to. I'm okay with a 5-2 here. I'll open Bridge Troll Embargo. Colonies here, I'm not sure that will matter a whole lot. I expect we'll probably pile out on things. I mean, it's almost guaranteed between Workers' Village and Bridge Troll. Certainly there's no trashing, so the decks will be fat, but you'll just expedition a lot. I mean, you'll have to. to even try and kick off. You'll have to stop playing Lucky Coin at some point just because of deck size concerns. It'll be a very, very fragile engine. I don't know if I'll embargo the bridge trolls if I get the embargo play before he buys one. If I mean, I'll have to consider it at least, right? I guess the question is whether a single bridge troll represents a huge enough advantage. I mean, I can embargo them and still buy a bridge troll. I mean, given that he's going to buy one right now, it's not as appealing. I'm actually not sure what is appealing to embargo, if anything. I don't know that there's any asymmetry in our decks or what I think we're going to do that's going to help me out in any way. At least that doesn't appear to be the case to my mind. I could embargo the curse so that Defiled Shrine is a little worse. That could be funny. I might do that. So here I miss on the Workers' Village, which is what I really would have liked. But I will pick up a Harbinger. And this is a pretty nice shuffle. Yeah, it's got to be worth it to take another silver here. But maybe not anymore past that. Here I can top deck a Workers' Village. I'd be interested if he thinks 2 curses is worth 4 points. I can't imagine how that could ever be the case here. Definitely at some point you have to think about doing expeditions instead of harbingers, like he does there, which looks perfectly correct to me. Of course, when you're in my situation, you don't actually have that option because you don't have the money to actually buy it. He'll get another Workers' Village, I assume, though another expedition is also reasonable. This is bad, but yeah, it's going to be really tough. This is an awful draw. He may double he probably expedition. No, he gets some pieces there. I'm gonna be expeditioning pretty aggressively, I think, for the most part. This is a very nice draw for me. I think 1 expedition a turn should be more or less mandatory at this point. The Defiled Shrine will be useful for whoever gets in the position to do the pile outs. because it's going to be a good bit of points then. What do I have left? I must have a workers village in here and another bridge troll, right? So it's really not that great to even top deck anything. I mean, I could top deck the Harbinger, is fine. My last card is a bridge troll, so I could set up having a bridge troll in hand for next turn, I guess, if that's good. It's not obvious that that's all that great, but it's not obvious to me anyway. Maybe it's obvious to some other people. Oh, so this isn't ideal. The nice thing about the silvers is that they do let you expedition a little more. The bad thing, of course, is all the bad things about them. So I could take a nobles. I'm gonna get a workers village, I think. Here I'll probably expedition. Which I probably ought to have done before. Gets a talisman, which is interesting. I don't love it, I guess. Would be my description of my feelings there. I understand what it can do for you, of course, if you draw it nicely, but which he maybe just managed to do right away. Probably takes a couple nobles with it. Or maybe it doesn't work on nobles. So, well, okay, so right here he gains 2 extra cards off it. So obviously it's very nice. He gets double workers village, double wild hunt probably. That's pretty crazy good. So it did pay off immediately, though. If you don't get it with a nice draw, then it's not as great. I mean, you'll probably get an extra workers village out of it, if nothing else. So I think those are pretty easy buys there for him. This is not any good stuff, so we'll just put the silver on top. Unfortunately here I've shuffled, so the Harbingers are now garbage. That was bad. He probably expedition workers village. So he's done quite well in the splits. If I don't find a wild hunt here, I'm gonna be sad. That was quite fortunate. Okay, so these draws are really lucky. I should at least stop and consider the possibility of taking the points off this wild hunt. Okay, I stopped and considered it. So I expect he probably will take the points next turn, but that's okay. Could triple expedition. I'm gonna go with Noble's expedition though, but That was, as I was going to say, I think that's most all my workers' villages. So that's about as good of a turn as I can hope to have, and unfortunately he can do much better than that. So barring some really weird shuffles in the next shuffle for him, I'm going to be losing. And he will expedition probably 2 or 3 times this turn, so I'm just going to be losing, period. I mean, if I had a wild hunt in hand, I would take the 8 points, but I'm not going to get to do that now. He may have, well, probably not a pile out, but pretty close to one with the talisman. He's not quite there. He plays 9 buys, so 18 gains. Maybe he just piles out here. He can certainly empty the embargoes for free-ish. And maybe just the harbingers as well. And that leaves him enough money to like buy a... Maybe it doesn't leave him enough money to do the thing I'm thinking, but... Points-wise, he should be able to get all of it from the curse. Yeah, he should have a win here. Well, accepting that he gets 4 curses when he buys the curse. Still, that's enough. So he should be able to empty piles. He can empty whatever, the harbingers or the things. And he can take the defiles, right? All right. Yeah, maybe I mean, it's certainly a case of where you get a really good draw. It lets you run away with it. But the talisman definitely worked out for him. There's somehow you've got to figure out a way to balance the expeditions with the buying of components, and I'm just not sure exactly where that lies in that game. Here we have a little bit of trashing from Goat and a little more from Mint, and then Village and Goons. So definitely want to build up here. I think I'm gonna open Shanty Silver. You don't have to do a silver necessarily. You can do a vassal. I don't much care for vassal in general. I hope he has the 5-2. So yeah, Shanty split will be really important. I mean, it may even be worth doing Shanty on your opening. I'm going to take a second one here. I have a good shot of getting a Goons here, which I will take. Though there's something to say for just buying the Witch as well. Yeah, that's a question. Maybe the Witch for cycling and for now, and the Goons next time. He's drawn very well. I've drawn well too. So he gets a Mint. I don't know. Does he have the economy to support that? Maybe. Hope I draw either my shanty or my witch or both eventually here. But you get the mint now, you have to mint up silvers, but that's fine, more or less. He does take the mint. I could mint here, but I don't think that's gonna be worth it. I'll have to try and jab him with a lot of curses here. He'd probably buy a shanty town, yeah. Did not get to the goat. That was a rotten draw. So he'll give me the last curse here. Nope, never mind. So we're not in too bad of a position. I don't know how the shanty split went exactly, if it was halvesies or what. Unfortunately, he's going to get a bit of a points lead on me here. From the goon stuff, and of course he's got a little bit better economy. The points is going to be the real issue because he can like double pixie and or that. This is really bad draw for me. The real issue is I'm just gonna. Okay, so he's a little junked, I think, but. Here we draw deck. So I probably cannot afford to mint here. I think I just have to take goons. This patrician does nice work for him there. He draws deck. Yeah, that's bad. I have a little more draw than him, but I do have the shanty advantage. It's just a question of whether the game lasts long enough for that to tell. There's at least some chance of that happening. I'm not sure if I go with Vagrant or probably I'll go with Patricians if I do draw. I guess he was thinking about whether he wanted to keep the mint. He'll probably go Goons Patrician. No, okay, that makes sense. Get a little more draw. Not sure. It was a bit weird to trash mint before curse. I'm not quite following that logic there. I would have to be... I can't think of a reason. It's a shanty reason. I guess it's a shantytown reason. That's the only thing. So he is not building the goons heavier, which is certainly one way to do it, or not do it, as the case may be. I've got to keep those. I just have to have them. So I left a patrician on the bottom. So this was basically perfect draw for me. Fortunately, there's a lot of there's a lot of twos here to soak up buys if I'm the person with the goons lead. Which I am. It's really not the worst thing in the world to have the goons in the starting hand. It's certainly better than having, say, all your draw in the starting hand and then getting hit that way. I probably ought to mint. I probably ought to have minted on my last turn, actually. Yeah, I was a little greedy there. I've been lucky with my shantytown draws so far, but there's no reason for me to keep this much treasure in the deck. I don't even really want the I don't even really want the any of it. I should have minted. That was a bad play by me. Although if I had minted, I wouldn't be able to threaten double Emporium here, and he could probably take them pretty safely. So that's another issue. Anyways, it'll be very easy for this turn's draw to stop dead. Though I might make it through. If we do make it through, I definitely will not be buying any more. So he's just going for it, right? So if I draw, he loses. That's not really useful. I don't want the goons. I do not want those things. I do need that, I guess. Well, what else do I have left? There was goons and witch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's one shantytown left and a pixie. I have to discard this, actually. Well, I got very not good pixie draws there. And I also failed to hit 10, so I didn't see I had to see witches there. So, I have $8. If he draws though, it's just over. Yeah, I didn't quite get there. I think his Emporium buys were pretty bad, but it didn't punish him, so I'm not even sure if buying a... Well, the real issue now is this next hand is totally garbage, isn't it? So I'm just sunk. Unless I draw a shanty into the last card of it. He'll probably end it anyway. This is just totally a non-starter though. It's not impossible for him to dud, but yeah, that's pretty sad. He didn't have any shanty. Well, he might have one shanty in there. He's probably drawing next turn. It's a bummer. I had bad pixies. I mean, there were a couple of pixie things that I could have gotten that would have been quite helpful. Actually, the first one I got could have been helpful, just the timing of it wasn't that great. And maybe I still should have used it, I'm not sure. I guess the good news is he still has to hit 10 on his next turn in order to win, and so that's not necessarily that easy. The bad news, of course, is that of the one card I drew from my turn there, it was the Catacombs, so the draw is pretty bad in my next set of cards or whatever, barring nice shanty towns, that is. So his patrician did nice work for him there, and then more nice. That sucks. I guess pretty much all his cards at that point are. But anyway, we can stop here. All right. Well, I'm not sure if there was any really glaring errors I made, but I think it is pretty aggressive to take the double Emporiums. For him to take the double Emporiums, although my draw is not that consistent, so it's not crazy to do, and maybe he thinks it's his only out, but I think it is a little greedy. It's likely my third Goons is a little greedy, since I don't really need 3 Goons to beat him at that point. It could have been another Catacombs. Would have been reasonable. Excuse me. But yeah, like another Catacombs and like 2 Goons in play is still gonna get me the points I need. Though if I had gotten the Catacombs, then maybe he doesn't double Emporium there. This is a bit of a runaway kind of board with the peasants hanging out. So the question is whether you want to get the peasant or the spice merchant or the sauna, I guess, is the maybe your options here. He gets the 5-2, which is pretty nice. Hopefully he bottom decks this for him. Does Battlefield buy victory card? Yeah. I have to think about whether I really want to do what I'm about to do, which is buy double peasant. It's of course nice to get multiple disciples, but could have very bad collision here. I guess I'll take a silver. It at least opens up the possibilities for saunas later on. His form did not bottom deck, so he's going to be moving along this traveler line much better than I am. And I added a bunch of stop cards, so I'll probably come out way behind on the teacher. Well, just at every stage, really. Plus, I'm second player. So hopefully he didn't find the soldier. Not because of the attack, but just because of the soldier doesn't miss regardless, but I think I would have been better served taking a Sana on my last turn, knowing that I would have 3 here. But it's a little late for that, so I can toss 1 peasant down at least to the soldier. Presumably he'll get like another forum here, which is going to be quite good for a teacher token target later on. I expect them to be quite nice anyway. He goes with bridge troll. I would not take the bridge troll yet. I don't think there's any I don't particularly believe that the bridge troll is going to do. I mean, it can hurt me, that's certainly true, but I think your cycling is more valuable than the attack. Though of course right here it does take me down from being able to do much of anything, where I would have been quite happy to get a Sana, and the attack really does hurt me here. I think this is just going to be a pass. I could buy a Humble Castle, but that's just a weird points grab in a game where early points mean just literally nothing. So, I mean, I've had fine draws for my teacher stuff, but he's just going to be moving so fast through this line. His disciple doesn't find anything, which is nice, but realistically not nice enough. So I will have more disciples, so there's at least sort of a weird shot of me moving into the Avantas well. Which could be very good. I still haven't trashed anything, although that's not that unexpected. Or not really unexpected at all. There's a good chance that he'll just buy Sanas once I uncover, or sorry, that he'll just buy Avantas once I uncover the Sanas. Here my disciple whiffs. There's like 2 Sanas in the bottom here, but I get jack squat off of it. For me, there's at least some consideration for not getting a teacher, but I think I need it. He'll get card on his farming villages. That was unfortunate that I did not get to disciple Sana there, but what can you do? He'll probably buy a farming village. Yeah. Nothing doing there. This can be a good trashing turn, I guess. Well, a very good trashing turn, to be fair. Do I still have... Okay, so I'm getting all the disciples up now. And the teacher down. Okay, this was a nice turn. I mean, this was a really nice turn. I have to figure out a way to buy a bridge troll. I guess. Once. Which I have discarded some coppers, I think, so I do have the money to do it. This could be a peasant. I'm gonna put cards on the saunas. I could put something else, I guess. But that looks about right to me. Unfortunately, I think he's just going to end up about a turn ahead of me as far as development here. The only thing I have going for me, which is not nothing, but is I have more disciples right now. Which means, in theory, I can crank out some pieces a little bit faster. Though he'll have caught me on that front shortly. My question, I guess my issue here is whether to put the cards on the sauna or not, because it's just gonna be overkill, realistically. Whereas if I put like coins on something, then I may yeah, it's just not gonna work. If I put coins on something, I might get through a little better. I don't know. Like if I put coins on sauna, I'll probably still draw the deck here. And then if I do get into the Avantas, I'll still have plenty of draw. I don't know. It feels like such a loose play, to be honest. And of course, the reason it feels like that is because it is a loose play, but I can, of course, get another a spice merchant now, I guess. This is quite stupid, actually. That was just a dumb way to play that turn. That's like the friendliest way to putting it. It was an incredibly dumb way to play that turn. Okay, so I can get a second copy of a card I definitely do not want. And now I can start to have really depressing draws because I didn't put plus cards on something like a complete idiot. Oh well. I'm not sure it mattered. Okay, I'm quite sure it didn't matter. Just based off this turn. Though it would have been better, of course, to at least be sort of in a position to contest some things. But that's all right. Since presumably he can like take a lot of bridge trolls this turn and then pile out the following. Well, not pile out, but as good as pile out. I guess his teacher was his last card. I mean, he didn't... Oh, he did call the teacher this turn. Never mind. Will be difficult to... Alright. It was over anyway. I mean, I think my teacher choice was quite poor, though I do not think it would impact the outcome. Not that that's a good enough reason to not get it right, but I don't think there was an out for me there particularly, but it was still sloppy. Okay, so here there's quite a big engine to build, mostly based around artisan, and well, some other stuff too, but I say that mostly based around artisan is not exactly an accurate description of this. There's a lot of things to do here. There's some question of, to me, whether you get the potion or not, but I guess we'll go for it. This draw is not ideal. Well, I'll get another raise. Library should be very good here. I'm not really sure how how to get an artisan, but you do need one. So that's something to consider here. So you have to figure out some way to get 6 once. I guess you'll buy silvers. That's the typical way. He must have drawn poorly to miss university there. He's getting all these rat catchers, which I don't actually like over second raises particularly. So here I'll probably take a shepherd. well, I'll probably just take another Herald. We gotta start fighting for the groundskeeper soon, but not yet necessarily. I didn't actually think there were any actions in there, but that was apparently not accurate. So we keep whiffing on that front. I could get a second silver. I keep thinking I surely can get to a hand where I have 4 coppers, right, and a silver. That should be doable, in which case I would rather not buy the silver. I don't remember if I discarded anything useful. I should be able to pull this one off. I'm gonna start on the groundskeepers now. So I suppose if I want to hit, I should have got another library. So if I want to hit 6, I should probably just be skipping the universities. And probably I'll get around to them anyway, hopefully. I have the 6, so I could... I think there's more heralds in here. This is quite nice of a turn. This is potentially a sad turn. But we'll see. I didn't realize quite how thin he was. I did play that a little wrong, but it's okay. It might be nice to top deck a library, though I can also just take my 6th and 7th groundskeepers, which should be a winning quality. I probably am gonna fire off anyway. It maybe was not correct to lose the copper there, actually. I wonder if it'll let me undo. I would really rather have the copper than the potion so I can buy a second artisan. I wonder if he'll... Oh, that doesn't change my money. That's stupid. Whatever. I'm not gonna ask for another undo. Though that is just really dumb. Maybe I'm missing something. No, I'm not. Anyway. Oh yeah, it does. It does. Okay, jeez. I'm just like... So he has 2 universities, no artisans. Probably I ought to have played that a little differently, but whatever. Okay, so 1 game left. His draws, I think, were quite bad there, and mine were, of course, just totally fine. We got another Pixie Goat game. Ooh, and Governor and Artisan. Lots of stuff here. I guess I'll probably open Masquerade Silver. I could save. I mean, I could open Governor, but I don't know that that's better than opening a Masquerade, to be honest. So I could save a silver or a copper, I mean, and get the, I wonder if there's anything worthwhile to do with Courtier here. You'd have to have light houses, and I guess you could use them as gold gainers. So he's not going to save, which I think I agree with. I guess one possibility here is to not take a silver, but instead take like a lighthouse or a candlestick maker and save a copper here. But probably the silver is better to have in the deck anyway for the remodeling potential from the governors and just in general. So I think probably this is the way to do it. We have to send a copper here. It's not a huge deal unless it kind of lets him. It's probably just not a huge deal. We're both going to be thin, of course, in little time, and then the governor stuff's gonna go off. Okay. So since he missed his silver there, he didn't get to trash. Or he trashed a copper, but I missed goat. Goat draw here would have been really nice to hit the. I am getting nice draws here with finding my silver quickly, so that's good. It's going to be quite an interesting middle and end of the game. So he's drawing a little bit for me, which I'm okay with. I may pick up an artisan here. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell if the artisan will pay off or not. You can, of course, just buy straight governors. So the question is, what does the artisan do for you later? Well, that's the question in my mind anyway. What it does for you later is it is a 6, so it's remodel fuel. Potentially it is gaining you courtiers, which work with goat. Okay, we already have a 2 type in the deck, so that's worth noting. The challenge, of course, is whether it causes you to fall too far behind on the governor split, which is a real concern. I would say if you played a couple times, would you expect to play it every turn, I guess, from here on out? It probably makes it up. Maybe not though. He could take 2 governors this next turn and 2 the next easily. Though it's not, me taking governors doesn't necessarily change that math, depending on what he does with his governor choices. May be able to crypt at some point. I kind of want to play with it. I'm not convinced, but at least it didn't whiff. I think I'm going to actually prefer to save the masquerade here versus trashing. Okay. I can live with all this. I'm pretty sure. I was thinking about a crypt here, actually. But maybe I need the courtier now. I probably have been a little too conservative with the trashing. I expect I have been anyway. So I'm gonna draw him a bunch of cards. And buy a province, I guess. I don't think he can do 6 provinces, but maybe he can. So let's see what we can do here. I realistically just need to like triple province. Well, I'm gonna certainly set aside all the coppers. Now, the rest of it's not so easy. I drew him so many cards. I don't think he can do 6 provinces, but that seems beyond the pale. I also haven't given him any money, so that's good. Exactly how many of these silvers to set aside, I don't know. I've got artisan and gold for remodel targets, and then I can buy a gold or buy a province. So triple province should be pretty safe. Or it should be a good amount of points. It should be difficult for him to come back from. So that being the case, I should just be putting away everything. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm leaving in my deck here. I'll get 1 silver back. The courtiers can just be used for money. I'm not sure that that was right. I think I probably ought to have done another silver. But I really should have done everything right. I keep saying that. I should have done another silver though, because I need to all I really wanted was to leave the gold, the artisan in the deck, and have the courtiers be able to do money for province, so that just takes 1 silver or a copper even. And so it should have been everything off. He doesn't have buy. He doesn't have... He might have 1 silver left. Maybe. So he can't get duchies easily. He can only get provinces. I can do a little bit of both in theory. I don't think he can do 5 provinces here, though maybe. I drew him a lot of cards. That would take 4, maybe. I mean, how many coppers does he have left? I set aside 4 coppers. So he probably still has 5 coppers. So 5 coppers province, or 5, and 1's a goat anyway, but I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. Forget it, I'll just wait. Since he's gonna be making choices anyway. I left myself 1 extra dud card than I needed to, which could be enough to just totally stop me in my tracks. In which case I'll cry. I do wish I had maybe figured out exactly how much gold he had in hand, or gold he had in deck. But I mean, I can go look how many golds he's gained, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's gained 4, or has he done more before that? Now he has bought a courtier. So he had 4 golds, that's what I decided. And now he has Alright, so he had 4 golds, I decided. Not fully sure that that's true, but... Okay, 1 gold, 2, 3, 4 golds. And then down to 2 golds, back to 3 golds. So he's 3 golds. And he saved something which probably was a governor. If I can get to 5 provinces, I'm pretty sure that's fine, because he still can't do more than province double duchy, which won't catch me. The question is what I bottom decked, whether I bottom decked a governor or not. If I bottom decked a governor, I'm not going to get there. So there's a question of whether I should even go for it. So if I take one, I can't take any provinces, right? So if I take, basically I can just take a duchy and then see what he does, which is probably quad province, so that doesn't sound all that appealing. But he could potentially not quite manage that. So I could also, yeah, I think I just got to draw and see what I come up with. Basically, if I bomb decked a governor, I lose. Well, yeah, basically, if I bomb deck governor, I lose. If it's courtier or silver, I'm fine. But really, there shouldn't be a 4th card here. There should be all gone. So I just want to stop here and make sure I don't have a win. No, I just got to draw again. Yeah, so we lose. this is not going to work. I mean, I could get several duchies, but it's not going to be good enough. So that's unfortunate. How much money do I have here? Yeah, so like I said, there shouldn't have even been a fourth card, and 2 governor draws should have guaranteed it. I mean, there still was some shuffle luck necessary because the sequencing, but that was basically just a crypt misplay. I talked myself into it, which is why you should never think while playing Dominion, because then you do stupid stuff. So anyways, buy-wise, I could get province, duchy. I mean, he still doesn't have the easiest time in the world getting duchies, I guess. Is a point in my favor. Though he can gain like, what am I trying to say? An estate, potentially. May be the thing that puts him over. Probably it will be. So I have $8. I could have $14 and the buy. So I guess that's what I gotta go with. Double duchy is just definitely losing. Yeah, I deserve it. I deserve this bad thing that happened to me. So I'm sorry, America. I didn't mean to let you down, but I did. Does he already have it in hand? I mean, he doesn't have to do it in that sequence, but because there's not any points placed to make off remodels, so it's not actually. Yeah, he just needs $7, right? I guess I should make him. Yeah. So I blew it. I had a chance. I had a chance to get the tie, but I totally botched it. So anyway, thank you all for watching. See you later.